Hi.
Welcome. Hello, Maria and Elizabeth and Richard and Kizé and Olga and Michael and Linda and Marie. Nice to see you all. You can hear me all right? Yes, great. It's good to be together. Oh, and Michael, you are with, hello.
Hi.
Good. Maybe just to go on the gallery view, if you aren't there already. So in the top right, you can click view and then gallery, or in the iPhone, you swipe so that you can see all the faces. And maybe briefly to close the eyes, just briefly for now, just to connect and land into yourself, into your body. Inhaling and exhaling to release. You can sense that maybe the flesh around the bones is a bit like water. That instead of being in the form of ice, can just kind of release and melt and become water that flows down a little bit. And if there's any micro movement that helps you, cool. And then from this place, opening the eyes again, and then staying with yourself, staying with part of your attention is inside. And then you can again look around here at the different faces. So you're staying here with yourself as you are meeting and seeing the others. And maybe just to pick someone and then wave at them. Great. Okay, good. I think there's still some people kind of figuring out technology and popping in and out, and a little bit of remaining restlessness. Welcome, Marie. Nice you're here also. And Dan, and Louisa, and Penelope. Welcome. So today I had the idea of making the topic of relational mindfulness. So we all know this practice of mindfulness, of course, and if you have more experience or less experience with it, we all familiar, at least to some extent, with the practice of mindfulness, the practice of being mindfully aware of the body, the thoughts, the feelings that are arising in our experience. And a while ago, about 2 years ago, I was introduced to this concept of relational mindfulness. So this isn't just to be aware of what's going on in my experience when I'm in interaction with another person, right? Which is very important to understand where are my feet, to understand how is my breathing, to understand what feelings are arising, what thoughts, what impulses come. but then to also start to see the other more clearly. So to actually see this person who's in front of me and what they are really doing, what's really happening right now in real time in front of me. Not what am I thinking about this person. A lot of the time we are already jumping into maybe what I'm going to say next, or maybe thinking about something they said and interpreting and floating somewhere up here. And here the idea is just to bring it back to what's happening right now over there. Where what's happening over here and where what's happening over there. And Andrea is here, but he just left his screen. He's a person who first introduced me to this idea as well. Andrea, you want to give a wave? He's also studying psychotherapy, so this is also a very interesting aspect of the psychotherapist's work, the relational mindfulness. And yeah, I love diagrams. So I have a little maybe diagram that maps this out a little bit. One moment. So essentially, and I'm going to explain a little bit about this, and then we're going to go into the practice. And we're going to go into the practice also in breakout rooms. I'm going to send you off, pair you up. Then we're going to go into this practice. So we're aware of me, maybe I should call this me, and the other, right? Me has a certain sphere of experience, and then the other, there's a certain experience over it. So what can happen in interaction, sometimes we collapse into the other, right? We have no more sense of ourselves, or the whole thing revolves, the whole interaction starts revolving around the other and their thought and their words and their. Or another scenario, the whole thing, my attention collapses into myself, and this whole interaction becomes about me, especially if this person is also someone who's more generous maybe with their attention, and then everything becomes about me. So the idea, even when whether you're listening or you're speaking, is to have also this balanced awareness, what's going on over there, what's going on over here. So that now when I speak, I also kind of check in, like I see Maria blinking her eyes, I see Richard kind of looking down, I see Elizabeth like looking closer at the screen, maybe reading something. So there's this whole interaction going on, which ideally becomes this relational field, right? So that the interactions we are co-shaping each other, we are co-creating this interaction. I'm listening to you, you are listening to me, and together we are listening to the space between us and what's happening here, being present with what this is. Good. That's the idea of it. At this point, does anyone have any comment or does anyone have any experience maybe with the practice of like circling or authentic relating practice? Maria, great, cool. Did everyone do the 10-day basic course before? The 10-day course? Yes. Anyone didn't do the 10-day course with me? Andrea, but you know noting technique, so that's okay. Good. So everyone's familiar with the noting technique. If you're not familiar, do like this. So I see. Okay. Luisa.
I'm not familiar.
Okay, maybe I just give a brief introduction. Basically, the idea is so mostly this technique, and this is the technique I teach in the 10-day basic course, we are basically noting or giving little mental sticky notes or labels to what's happening in our experience. And it's our experience of the present moment, our experience of the body, and our experience of our mind and any feelings. So to demonstrate right now, I notice the feeling of my chair, of my butt on the chair. I notice some dryness in my mouth. I notice that I looked at the screen. I'm noticing the dryness in my mouth again. I'm noticing I'm holding my hand up in a kind of Italian posture. And then to simplify it even more, maybe just one word notes. So I don't have to tell a story about what's happening. I just feel sitting, dryness, stillness, seeing, dryness, nervousness, energy, excitement, sitting, exhaling, hearing. So there's different things happening in my experience, right? And I'm just kind of tracking. So the note keeps me right here in the present moment. When I start thinking about something, I can just label thinking, or worried, or planning, or future, or past. And in that way, we just note and we just come back to being present. That's the technique of noting. So we're going to use this. And we're going to use this in relation. I'm going to demonstrate with my partner, with Sandra. Sandra, you want to come here? And or maybe I first let me explore it first. Okay, let me explain it first. So Sandra and I, yeah, when we were 2 years ago, we started to practice this format a little bit because she was she was noticing me that I was sometimes very collapsed in my own world and not aware anymore of what's happening in her world, right? And I'll notice that for her it was exactly the opposite. She was very much with me and where I am at and what I need or what I'm saying, but maybe not so much with herself, right? As very empathetic people, we tend to be more with the other. As self-absorbed people like myself, I tend to be more here and don't see the other person. So we started practicing this, trying to balance. Can I be aware of myself? Can I be aware of the other person? And this is the format that we came up with. The first 5 minutes, maybe you can. The first 5 minutes, and we're going to do it over Zoom, but we will just demonstrate. I'll show you in the camera. With the baby. The first 5 minutes, we're sitting in silence together. And we don't have to eye gaze. We can also look around. We can close the eyes if you need. But you're trying to a little bit stay present with each other. So at times you can look up and look at the eyes. And in your own experience, you are just noting where is your attention, essentially. So now I'm going to do it out loud, but when we try it, it will be silent first. So dryness, calm, dryness, seeing, sitting, touching hands, hearing, dryness, seeing, seeing, hearing, dryness, sitting. The first, and there's no judgment. There's no judgment. Whatever is my experience, it's okay. Then, second 5 minutes, we will note out loud and we will take turns. So I will say one thing I notice, and then she will say one thing she's noticing, but she's staying with her own experience. I'm not noting anything about her, I'm just noting my own experience and vocalizing it, making it known and putting it in the space between us. So we know a little bit more what's happening with the other. Dryness.
Ankles,
Tension.
weight, shoulders,
Adjusting.
nerves,
Dryness.
moving baby,
Smiling.
smiling,
Hearing.
in breath,
Inhale.
thinking about the other.
Feeling smile. Feeling pleasant.
Excitement.
Okay. So you get the idea. Can you only hear me or can you hear her also? Two. Okay, great. That's the second round. We note our own experience. The third round, I note my own experience, or I can note something which I notice about her. So for instance, if I see her smile, I can say, seeing smile. If I see her tilt her head, I see seeing tilting head. If I see her blink, I can say seeing blinking. And I try to not to add any judgment to what I'm seeing. I'm not saying seeing afraid or seeing nervousness or something. That's a layer of interpretation I'm adding. What I can say is, I see movement of fingers. I see smile, I see nodding, okay? Or I can say something about myself. I can say something that I feel that was created in response to something she did also, or something unrelated. Example, dryness.
Moving mouth, hearing mouth,
Seeing eyebrows move,
seeing eyebrows raise,
relaxing my belly.
noticing eyes,
Dryness, mouth.
blank,
Seeing lips smiling.
seeing smile, interpreting amusement,
Feeling butt.
hearing amusement, feeling amusement,
Hearing voice.
being distracted,
Hearing baby.
feeling baby,
Dry mouth.
seeing eyes blink.
Okay. So this. Yeah, and you try to balance. You try to balance when you notice I'm just saying things about her. Try to come back to yourself, say something about you. Then the fourth round, we can speak here. And we kind of doing this noticing in the background. But we don't have to be too serious, we don't have to note anymore. Now we can have a little bit more a conversation. But there's this backdrop of the last exercises of I'm noticing her, I'm noticing myself. And I can also express something. I can use more sentences, I can express. I'm feeling a dry mouth, and that was all very exciting. And I'm nervous, I'm wondering whether I'm talking too long or taking too long for the demonstration.
I'm having ache in my body, and I hear your mouth because it's dry.
I see you smiling, and I feel guilty for not smiling back.
Interesting. Feeling attention go to baby, baby moving.
I notice I'm becoming hyper focused on your face, and I feel like looking away a bit.
I see your hands being wiped on your legs, interpreting nerves.
I feel the need to talk about something else except what we're experiencing, but it's difficult to leave. You continue?
Noticing people watching, thinking about that, feeling awkward.
I feel laughter at the mutual awkwardness. Okay, so this. And then the last 5 minutes as a closing, like how we close any meditation with a little bit of metta, a bit of loving kindness. So in these 5 minutes, you can express appreciation. You can wish something good for the other person. We also keep taking turns like this, or gratitude for the exercise, or something they said, or how you felt about doing it together. So I appreciate you coming to sit in front of online people for me.
I appreciate you to challenge me.
I appreciate that you're caring for the baby right now.
I appreciate that you're smiling.
I appreciate that I can pause and take a breath and maybe don't have to say anything about you.
I appreciate your gaze.
I wish for you to have a restful night tonight, because I know you don't sleep so much. Okay. So, is there any questions about any of the stages or in general? And you can just speak in the microphone if you have something.
When you're, sorry, you've obviously got to have somebody else that's on the same length that wants to do the mindfulness with you to be able to carry this out, which is sometimes very difficult when maybe that person's not on the same wavelength as you.
Yeah. So in this case, we are practicing two-way. There's a very strong field of presence and also goodwill, right? Because we're both in it and we're both practicing it, and in that sense, we create a strong container, right? But of course, in life, it might be more one-sided. Okay, might be more one-sided. Might be I'm just aware of myself and the other person just maybe completely unaware and taking a lot of space or imposing a lot on me. And in that case, it's not about that equal sense of, okay, I give you all my presence, but maybe just noticing actually, oh, what kind of world is this person in? And maybe they are agitated, or maybe they are moving very restless, or maybe, and you understand, actually, this is not about me, this is just their restlessness. And so we're not, so now what happened, it was more about connection, but it can also just be about just noticing what's happening there. Instead of me thinking about it and interpreting and going into my dreams about what I think I see, right? Or what I, maybe from past situations, what I'm afraid of. Also, if we have fear or anxiety, that tends to cloud what actually is happening, right? But oh, okay, actually, right now they are chilling and they're okay. So maybe that was just my trip. So just about being aware of the other, of myself. Is that helpful?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Richard.
The stage 2, or stage 1 and 2, is very much how we've learned to use noting in meditation.
Correct.
Keeping it simple, just maybe one word, etc. When you get to stage 3, it's easy to do that about yourself. But it seems to me when you start to note something of the other person, I feel I would have a tendency to slip into stage 4, where I'm actually adding almost an interpretation of that person.
Right.
And not being careful not to say, or you're smiling because I think you don't like me, or you like me or don't like me. So
Right.
that's the tricky part I found there. But once you get to stage 4, it just seems being able to say to the other person what's going on in your head, which is so common. These are the things that, they say that people who are homeless who are on the street speaking loudly are the same thing that we're doing, and we don't dare speak it loudly. And so stage 4, you're really starting to talk about what you feel and what you think, and
Right. Right.
these kinds of things, and that seems to be
Yeah.
really making a connection that at that point.
Right. So yeah, you're exactly right. The first 2 stages are more about just my experience, like what we've been practicing, but now also with this out loud dimension. It gets more difficult with, okay, now I'm just noticing you. And here's the important part which we're practicing. We're practicing just to notice something and not to add layers of interpretation. Like you said, I see you smiling because this and this. Just leave out the because. Leave out the, no, maybe you know the because, or you think you know the because, but that's exactly bringing consciousness to what am I interpreting, or judgment that I'm adding on top, or interpretation. But you can just say, I see you smiling. And when you feel, or you say, oh, I feel myself smiling in response to your smile. But keep it very close to actual experience, not too many abstractions. Anyway. And then, which is the difference here for me, with this backdrop of direct experience and we're staying present with each other, we start adding content, we start adding things, thoughts, emotions, memories, whatever, past, future. But there's the backdrop of speaking from being present with each other, more moments than if I jump straight into content. So it would be very different if this was the first stage, right? It would be different than we prepare. Yeah. Okay, are we ready to try it, or is there any other common question? Cool. And Michael, I will leave it up to you if you want to try to do it together or if you want to do it across.
I would love to do it with Amanda.
Perfect. So then you guys will do it together, and then we'll see
Okay.
how we pair up with each other. Good. Then I will write in the. I will give you a minute to say hello and stuff, and then I will paste each phase, and you will see it as a chat message pop up on your screen, so that you know it's time to go to the next phase. And I will just reiterate again what the instruction is. Okay. You need to drink a glass of water or something. So you don't say dry mouth all the time like me. Okay, so I will put you in the rooms. I will create some rooms. And 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think I will participate because there's. Let's see. I have to put another room. Okay. Louisa, you will do it with me, if that's okay for you. And the rest of you, So Louisa, don't join the room that is there shown there, and the rest of you
Okay.
can join the rooms. Okay. Cool. Hey. Welcoming everyone back. Take a drink of water. That was maybe intense, a lot of talking, a lot of back and forth. But I see people coming back with smiles, which is nice. Yeah, if you need to just drink some water or stretch for a moment while everyone retakes a seat at this group table. Yeah, just saying, feel free to take a moment to stretch, to relax. Maybe that was intense back and forth talking. So I welcome any sharings, any group sharings. Yeah, staying with what you experienced in any of the rounds and in all of it all together. Please share how it was for you. This is also research for this structure. Maybe it's not the best structure. It's quite a lot of things. Let's see what you want to share. Penelope.
I've just put it on chat actually as you were saying it, but I thought it was just wonderful how you can have an amazing chat with somebody that you've never met before and lives the other side of the world, and just in that space of 20 minutes, the connectiveness that you are able to have, it makes me feel quite uplifted, and I feel much more positive about a situation I have within my family, that not right well now, but I will work towards having this kind of space to have this kind of interaction with.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Someone else had their hand up. Forgot who it was. Linda, yes.
I can't express the wonderful interaction, just to take in a moment and ground yourself in the presence of someone else, and moving from your own thoughts and feelings and sharing your noting of other people, and then to find you have so much in common and so many common points that I think I feel very close to Olga, my partner, and I appreciate that opportunity and that chance to share that energy with one another.
You mean like you had a lot of kind of common experience, like
Yeah,
I feel nervous, you feel nervous type thing,
exactly.
Or
we both have cats, so we were appreciating each other's cats in the background and the foreground. So it was very nice as well. It was very relaxing, and being able to share in that moment.
Right. Cool. Thank you for sharing. What else? And Kizer.
For me, it was nice to, like, what I was really noticing was this, noticing when I start going into falling into the other's experience and lose myself. So I do, or I don't know what I do exactly, but I know that I do both overly. Like sometimes I can go completely in the other's experience, and sometimes I can, come like collapse into myself. And so this was a good, I felt like while it was happening, I could feel that this was a good practice for sensing just, and obviously it started more when we started talking to each other. Like that's when I really started feeling, oh wait, I've just totally lost the other person. I'm just going into my own thing, and then sort of the opposite as well. So for me, it was nice to, it's like I'm expanding awareness, like this bag of awareness that was kind of reaching out. So, and I also think that this exercise could be really cool just to keep doing, to practice again and again, either with the same person or like I could just see how over time it could even get deeper or better with more and more practice of this sort. So
Ja,
that was cool.
ja, ja, absolutely. Sandra, kannst du mir helfen, den Tür zumachen, die ist gerade aufgegangen? Thank you, Kizan. Yeah, this building the awareness of, oh, yeah, oh, interesting. Cool, Olga. Share.
Yes, hi. So while practicing with Linda, I had a beautiful experience, and we noticed that at some point there is a thin line between direct experience and layers, because there is some kind of limitation in our connection because we're talking to on the internet, right? So we're not physically present. So sometimes it was like, am I adding something to this or it's my direct experience? So that was interesting.
Do you have an example of something that happened there?
Yes, because for example, I'm seeing her smiling and I feel like, yes, of course, I'm seeing her smiling, but I also wanted to say something like, I see you being happily smiling, to me. But then I was like, no, hold on. That is going to be some kind of addition to that.
Right. Yeah.
But it really felt like this person is happy, so because of she's happy, she's smiling,
Right. Yeah, thin layers. Cool. Maria, you.
My partner was Elizabeth, and I have to say, it was a balsam. It was like my day was pretty full and was chaotic, and I was not feeling very well, and I was like very much concentrating myself, and working with Elizabeth gave me so much peace, and it really allowed me to get out of myself and see that my bigger or smaller problems are just bigger or smaller problems, but that I'm not alone. And it really gave me, relax, which is what I needed today. So thank you very much, Elizabeth.
Right. Richard.
Let's see. Yeah, my microphone's off. Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Okay. So my partner was Penelope, and we had a wonderful discussion, and this process was really, really interesting. I think very useful. I think the step one is just to be able to take a deep breath and become aware of what you're feeling. A new person, I was feeling tense, I didn't know what to say, what to think, just to calm yourself. The calming was so important for me. And then when I got to step two, it became an honest disclosure of what I was aware of myself. And being able to share that to a person I didn't know, it was like an icebreaker. It was like, oh, we're human. and, and then after that, everything started to flow. I didn't have as much to note on what she was doing. I mean, it was as much as I was noting myself and sharing it. And that sharing just sort of opened up it made this incredible atmosphere of comfort and almost like a sense of trust and safety. And I think that we concluded that one of this is, does the world do this? Because when you meet new people or with your partner or whatever, it's just so that was my experience.
Thank you. There was also Michael and Andrea. You raised your hand, right?
Yeah, and I've been trying to figure out how to put that raised hand image on
I saw
my
the
screen, but
physical one.
I'll figure it out someday. I feel like Amanda and I had a different experience compared to everybody else. She's my life partner, and we both agreed that doing more exercises like this, or doing this exercise specifically on a regular basis, would make us even closer. So it was pretty meaningful, and I just wanted to share with you, if you do this again, I'd be very interested in doing it with a stranger across many miles. I think that would also be hearing all the experiences that all of you had. What a unique opportunity, and something I'm grateful for, other than you, Reimar, and giving us this opportunity, is just the technology and the age that we live in. Kind of piggybacking off of what Richard just said, yeah, we do have this way to connect now with people all over the world. Why don't we start doing it more? And
What was your experience? What was your experience, Michael, with so you said it was different from the other people you heard. What was it that you had with your
Well, I mean, we are in the same room, and that's, one advantage I feel of doing it. There are no restrictions with the technology, or with technology, preventing a deeper connection, a face-to-face connection. What was also different? Well, do you want to share anything?
It's like what's different with us is that we actually know each other well. And it was kind of difficult for me, I guess, not to read too much into, because I know him so well and he knows me so well. To not incorporate like, you're doing this because we do. I think it'd be a lot different with a stranger because we don't have that basis of like, I already know you.
Right. That's something I think that we felt when we were practicing it. Like with a stranger, it's a little bit of a blank slate, of course, but with your partner or something, there's all these habitual interpretations which are so strong, really. And I think for me that really pointed to all the things I habitually interpret out of her look or her gaze, or even when I do something and I already feel that she interprets or sees me in a certain way, like these kind of habitual sankhara, actually, habitual perceptions, let's say, that appearing. So it's also a very rich space to do with someone you know. Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Andrea, maybe you first, and then Olga, and then maybe that's the last.
Yeah, I just wanted to share very quickly that I feel much more and relaxed, and sort of as if I went out of a bubble. Yes, connecting with another popped a bubble I was into, and I feel how important it is to connect on a experiential level, and how little we do it in our daily lives, and we should do it much more. Should be a daily practice, I think, at least for me. Thank you, and thank you to my partner.
Yeah, very interesting feeling. Like it popped a bubble, like the bubble of my own dream and my own experience and me walking through the world, and boom, oh, I'm not alone here. And sometimes even we can talk to so many people, but they're just objects in our bubble or experiences in our bubble. The cashier, it's just a figure, like, computer games, like an NPC, like a non-player character, a computer-controlled interface, especially now more and more with the phone, that we forget that we're not alone. And there's many bubbles here, and sometimes when we really, then that bubble meets and becomes a bigger bubble. Beautiful. Thank you for this image, Andrea.
Can I just say, I don't want to waste time, but I wanted to say that there was an energy that we connected, Maria and I, which was beyond where our lives, our own personal lives. And I don't know how to explain that, but sometimes when you talk to a complete stranger, you don't look at all the problems the person has. So the exercise was very useful in just connecting at an energy level. We had a very good energy between us. And I thought I'd share that. Something I would take away to, as Maria and I said, it would be nice when we go to a shop or a store or some total stranger, if we connected like that. So I just thought I'd share that. It was just a good feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. This is something about connecting right here, as you use these words, on an energetical level, right? I feel that a lot. We are connecting by, I talk about something I'm imagining, which I'm trying to convey to you, so that you have this imagination in your head, and then we connect by imagining the same thing and talking about our imagination, like we're talking about politics, or we're talking about this idea or that idea, but we're floating up here somewhere. But what's actually happening in your... I feel excited. I feel that sigh just gave me a good release, and I feel that I was also creating more imagination for you now. Good. So maybe we will close with just some standard meditation practice, just to land, to calm our own bubbles, and then we can go about our day. Hello, David. Welcome. Cool. So just from this relational space, from this out here, we can carry this vibration, but close the eyes. And to feel that we are not sitting alone. So I close my eyes not to block out the world, but I close them to come back to myself while I am in the presence of others. And you can sense your own body, any residual excitement, nervousness, tension. Any energy in the body. And again, connecting to that melting, that feeling of the muscles, the skin, everything becoming a little bit more watery. And releasing, melting of the bone. And you can connect to your breath. Breath in the belly. And the breath deeper in the belly. The deepest subtle point, which is just moving very subtly with every inhale, with every exhale. And feeling the space around that point. And expanding the awareness to include the whole breath in the whole body. And noticing your full experience, the full bubble of your experience, everything you hear, feel, see, think, anything that is present. Whether you feel good, whether you feel not so good. And just to feel that you are seen, you are held with that. We're all in our collective field of presence. Seeing you and being seen. And we hold this dual responsibility in a way of sharing ourselves, of seeing others compassionately. So you are important. And at the same time, it's not all about you. But you're also important. Okay. And if you wish, you can take a bow. You may do so with the hands clasped in front, or you can go to the ground if you will. The bow is something that we can do traditionally to close any session, to open any session. It's a way of letting our body mind know, okay, this is the ending, this is the conclusion, and I bow in devotion, in offering, in not taking this so seriously, not taking my ego, holding on to the experience, bowing to offer this experience, this merit to the world that we live in. Whenever you feel ready. Okay. Very good. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
See you soon, hopefully. July 12th is the next 10-day course. If any of you live in or near Berlin, next weekend we will be there in the Bode Museum. I will guide some mindfulness sessions there also, if you are around Berlin, next Saturday. Thank you. Maybe I will ask everyone to
Thank you,
maybe
guys.
say some bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.
Bye, bye,
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Grateful for everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Just beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.